Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 7, Episodes 21, 22, When It Rains, and The Tacking in the Wind. So this is it. We are in the final 5 episodes. This review will cover episodes 21, 22. Next time it'll be 23 and 24, and then the final episode. So it's the final 5 countdown. So to be completely honest with you, I didn't really dig these 2 episodes as much as I did the previous 4. I don't know, something just got, maybe it's just getting a little fatigued with a 9-part episode, 2, 4, 6, because this would be episodes 5 and 6 in that. But I don't know, something about these 2 just kind of dragged on me. So it kind of continues where we saw the Defiant get destroyed, and before it gets destroyed, it got shot with this like laser thing, and it loses power. Well, we find out that 311 ships lost power and were destroyed. Only one ship that was a Klingon vessel that just happened to like rotate its harmonics or something managed to survive, and the rest of the Klingon ships can do this, but now the Federation and the Romulans have to figure out how to do it as well. So Dumar and Garrick basically have to rely on Kira to teach them to be resistance fighters, and it's kind of interesting because Sisko tells Kira, like, okay, you have to go to Cardassia and teach Dumar how to become a resistance fighter. And Kira's like, no. Like, we trained, my people were under the occupation for years and finally escaped. And now you want me to teach him how to do that? For one, I'm a Bajoran, so they'll never listen to me. So they actually turn Kira, they like recruit her into Starfleet and make her a commander. So it's kind of interesting. Like the first time we see Kira in like a Starfleet outfit, uniform, whatever, it's like, damn, like she actually looks really good in a Starfleet uniform. And like, kudos, she goes from a colonel to the Bajoran militia to a commander in Starfleet. So that's pretty awesome that she is now the ranking Sisko was when the show started. We see Dr. Bashir ask Odo for a cup of goo. It was such a great scene where he's like, yeah, I need a cup of goo. And basically he wants to study Odo, and Odo like dips his finger in the cup, and he's like, yeah, just a little bit more goo. And then finally he's like, thank you. And Odo's like, I'm going to want that back when I return. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So he leaves, and it turns out that Odo is actually infected with the same disease that we see the female changeling with, where he's slowly starting to dry out and stuff, which is really kind of weird to me because, like, what was it? A few episodes ago, we saw him, like, do the link with Roz, or I think it was his name, the other changeling. So did Odo just infect him? Like, I don't know. Something weird's going on there. Like, I feel like they didn't think that out. But it's really sad that Odo is actually infected, and he is now dying as well. And basically the last noteworthy thing is we see Gowron come on board, which we haven't actually seen Gowron in a really long time, so it's kind of cool to see him. So that's how the first part of this ends. The second part, basically Gowron is now a villain. Like he's just kind of become a dick, where he sent Martok on this mission basically to humiliate him. And throughout the episode, we basically see Worf trying to figure out, like, oh, like, what's going on with Gowron? So that's going on. I'll come back to that because that's how this episode ends. So it's a little bookend. Kira, Dumar, Odo, and then Dumar's second in command go undercover to try to steal a Breen weapon. And it's such a great story where we see like Dumar, his name was like Rusket or something, and basically capture Kira, and then they're going to the bridge of the Breen of the ship, the Jem'Hadar ship, to get the Breen weapon. And Kira's handcuffs fall off because it's just Odo. And Odo actually turns into the female changeling, like disease and all, and they wipe out the Jem'Hadar. And it's kind of interesting to watch them like slowly take over the ship. And then, of course, it turns out that they can't really do anything because, of course, they haven't finished installing the Breen weapon. So they're trying to figure this all out. Meanwhile, Dr. Bashir is trying to figure out why is Odo sick. and he slowly starts realizing that Section 31 is behind this virus that makes the founders or the changelings sick. And we see, like, Dr. Brazier trying to figure out, like, he's contacting people, like, hey, I need Odo's medical records. Well, why do you need them? So I can make a cure. He's like, you want to cure the founders? No. And basically hangs up on him as much as you can in Star Trek. And so we're slowly learning more about Section 31. Another important scene is Dumar finds out that his family has been killed, his wife and kids, and he's really upset about it. And he's like, I cannot believe that the Dominion have given orders to kill my wife and children. Like, who would give orders like that? And Kira's like, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Who would give orders like that? Basically throwing in his face that the Cardassians have become like the Bajorans were to the Cardassians as they are to the Dominion. And so now it's an occupation, and Dumar like doesn't even fight it. He kind of glares at her like he's getting ready to, and then just leaves. So, meanwhile, back on Deep Space Nine, we realize that Gowron is basically, like I said, he's fighting Martok, and Ezri is the one who has to point this out to Worf, that, like, you want to, like, say how honorable your race is, but you know that people are corrupt, and you don't do anything about it. Like, Martok is honorable. You, Worf, are honorable, but you guys aren't doing anything about this. So what's the point in your civilization even surviving? Maybe it's time the Empire needs to end, which is kind of prolific because it does happen. So we see finally Gowron and Worf have it out, and they challenge each other to a duel. And what's kind of interesting is that Gowron became the Chancellor because Worf killed Duras, going back to the Next Generation. And now we see Worf kills Gowron and makes Martok the new Chancellor. He gives him the power. So it's really interesting how Worf has basically like brought Gowron to power and then taken the power from him to give it to somebody more honorable. So overall, it was really interesting, but just overall, I don't know. Maybe the first 2 episodes were great. Episodes 3 and 4 were really great. These 2 were also really good, but I do feel like it was a little bit of a step down. So for those who have seen this one, what did you think about all of these relationships? I've noticed the thing that all 9 of these episodes have in common is they're very like relationship oriented. So like, what did you think about Kira and Dumar? What did you think about Gowron and Worf? What did you think about Section 31 and Dr. Brazier? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for watching. I'm super sad that we're coming to an end for Deep Space Nine, but as the title of the last episode of Next Generation said, all good things do have to come to an end. Thank you guys for everything. I will see you guys next time for the next 2 episodes, Extreme Measures and Dogs of War.